morning. Still setting everything up here, but I am excited to be back to this spot. Very different conditions. The winds are completely different than they were last time when I was here with Dave. Luckily, we did have a few fish last time, so you know, the first session for me in this spot was very, very positive. Yeah, just a nice peaceful morning. I don't have the whole day. I've only got the morning today, but I've managed to get myself out here for a solo session. I did check in with Dave, make sure he knew that I was coming to this spot, so I wasn't going to be fishing on bait that he was planning on being on. He wasn't going to be here today. He was cool with me being here, so you know, just showing that appreciation for him showing me the spot, showing a little bit of respect to make sure I'm not fishing it when he should be. The lines are out. Fish were rising when I got here and walked out to the spot. Did have to clean up a little bit of a garbage pile because some people are slobs, but that seems to be an ongoing thing. More so lately with people having a lot less time to keep themselves busy with work. They're coming out on the bank and they're leaving messes and having a whole not my problem kind of mentality. So unfortunately I did have to pick up a bunch of garbage, but it's done. I can fish. I can fish comfortably. The bird life is fantastic. I just need to get some more bait out. I do have a plan to put some sweet corn out, but the majority of my plan today is boilies. So I'm going to fire probably a half a kilo of boilies out over the 3 spots. And then maybe in about an hour or 2, I'll add some sweet corn to the mix if nothing's happened. There's bubbles coming up just to the left of me. Okay, I gotta get some bait out. I'm ready to rock. Where's my slingshot? There's my slingshot. All right, so I made 2 simple changes to the middle and the left-hand rod. So the 2 rods fishing pop-ups, they were just put out as singles over boilies. I've had pretty much no indication since I've put them out. So I figured I had to do something. It's been over an hour. I haven't even had a liner so much. So I brought them in, and I noticed that I had tied the rigs a little bit long. So I shortened them up, took them down about 1.5 inches from what they were. So they're much shorter rigs, and I put little PVA sticks out with them. Almost immediately, now I'm getting liners and indication. So definitely that change was needed. However, at the same time that I put those changes into place and get liner activity on those 2 rods, the right-hand rod, which I have not changed, which is fishing a bottom bait that went out with a stick right at the get-go, just when I ran over to look at the middle rod and see what was actually happening there, The right-hand rod was actually showing some indication as well. You know, if it was current flow, then I could rule some of it out, some of that movement out, but the current is literally doing nothing. It's not been coming in, it's not been going out. I am pretty much fishing a still water today. Now, the fish that I have been seeing rise, not much in the way of boshing, but just rises and breaches, like where they're just breaking the surface. They've been getting closer and closer since I got here. There's the left-hand rod, the one that's in the shallowest and the closest. Or not the shallowest, in the closest. It's in the deep hole to my left. But again, PVA stick, shorter rig, instant indication. I'm so used to fishing flow, you know, fishing the rivers and whatnot. I'm just used to tying longer rigs. So last night, I was in a Zoom meeting last night, and I just thought, okay, well, I'm going to tie some rigs. Obviously, I tied them too long. Well, with fish moving in closer and now getting some indication, I'm feeling a little bit more confident that something might actually happen soon. Just got to wait for it. Okay, so finally, after making the change to the rigs on the middle rod and the right hand rod, putting stick out with him, getting indication right away, that was all fantastic. But it was the left and the middle are the ones I changed. The right hand rod, which I didn't move, which was fishing a bottom bait just off in the shallows, that's actually the one I hooked up with. I'm not sure what hit the middle rod that I missed, but it looked like it was taking it and nothing happened. But yeah, as soon as I started seeing all that indication, I knew something was going to happen, but I was not expecting it to be the right hand rod in the shallows. I really thought that with all the activity and the whacks and bumps that I was getting on the other two rods, I thought that was the one that was going to go. So what a pleasant surprise. Not a huge fish, high doubles, but you could just look at that tail. What a battle. That was a really, really strong fish. Fought really hard, really knew how to hold its own. But absolutely gorgeous color, big wrist on the tail. Couldn't be more pleased with this right now. Well, fish number 2. I was literally just talking to Dave about how I keep getting these hard smashes on the left-hand rod that's deep in the channel, but never a hookup. So I made a hook bait change. I went to a smaller hook bait on that. Not that it mattered with the size of this fish's mouth, but I switched from a 14 mil pop-up to a 14 mil dumbbell, so something a little bit narrower, more narrow to go in. And after a couple quick whacks, boom, got a fish. And this one is a beat up, real character, really awkward shape to them. Got a weird hump. Huge head, tiny body. And it was like a wicked hard take. Very short little torpedo type fight, but there he is. Absolute character. Just looks really old. He's really beat up. His fins are quite weathered. But like I said, huge head, tiny body. He's got a really big bump kind of right in the middle. So when you're looking down on the top of him, he's got really, really thick back. And a super short, stumpy tail. Really, really neat fish. Well, now that I've had one out of that side, all 3 spots that I've fished over the last 2 sessions here now, I've caught from. So, exciting. Hopefully, before I have to go, which is coming up pretty fast, I might be able to pull another one out. Okay, a little update. That second fish was about 20 minutes, half an hour ago. I've made another change. I brought in the middle rod that had the pink pop-up on it, because despite having that one good hard whack earlier that I thought was a take, getting lots of those at this point. So yeah, as I was saying, I brought in the middle rod, took the pink pop-up off, and I put a single piece of ESP floating corn. Yellow seems to be doing it. So the first fish was on the right-hand rod on a bottom bait. It was a cream seed boilie with a ESP pop-up corn. The second fish that was on the left-hand rod, the one that just had a whack, that one was on a small yellow dumbbell wafter. I think it was a Sticky Baits pineapple and butric acid. So yeah, single piece of plastic corn on the middle rod now. I think it's just a matter of maybe needing the smaller baits, or maybe it's just the fact that they're yellow. But I am getting line activity. Like I just had that whack. I don't know if you can actually see the rods or not. Yeah, I guess you can. I'm getting liner activity and whacks like that on all 3 rods now. All of them are going out with little sticks. I haven't topped up any boilies for a little while. After I had that first fish, I shot boilies back out over that spot. Still getting liner activity out there, but no more hard whacks on that rod. So I'm going to leave that one be like I did this morning, and maybe that one will go off again. But yeah, that left-hand rod fishing right down in the hole. That's what keeps happening to me. I keep getting these pickup and drops, and they're hard too. So it makes me think that they're not liners, that it's got to be a take. I checked the hook multiple times. I'm not sure what it is, but that's the only rod that seems to be consistently having that. And when I thought there was an issue, I ended up getting a fish. So it's hard to say. One thing's for sure, making that change to the shorter rigs earlier has had a huge impact. It went from absolutely zero indication to constant indication. So there's fish on me. I think I need to have a snack. I'm hungry. yeah, 5 minutes after switching the bait on the middle rod, that has the exact same kind of bite that I had on it this morning. Just a quick up and down jumpy bite, and I set into nothing. So I'm not sure what keeps taking that middle one, but that one's in the channel, but further back where it starts to come up shallow. Oh, hiccups from my sandwich. So yeah, there's 2 takes to that rod. One on the left, one on the right. Fish are still here. I don't really want to put any more bait out until I get another definitive take, and then I'll put some more boilies out, maybe some more sweet corn. I did put a couple handfuls of sweet corn in earlier. Didn't get any activity on it. The activity didn't really start until I made those changes to the rigs. I've just recast, so it'll be another minute or 2, maybe 5, before I start to see any liner indication again. So I'm going to finish my sandwich because it's tasty. I'm going to have a drink, and then I'm going to maybe give Dave a call, check in on how he's doing, so I can give him an update on how I'm doing. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Well, it's just past 11 a.m. The wind is really kicked up. The wind is coming from the direction I want it to be. It's coming out of the north. It was supposed to be coming out of the east, and that's when it was doing that this morning. It was just dead. It switched to the north. It got crazy for a bit where I had a couple fish and lots of liner activity, lots of hard whacks. And then it just died, just completely stopped. I'm not seeing fish rise. I'm not seeing any activity. Stopped getting liners altogether on all 3 rods. It just shut right down. And then more kayakers and other small pleasure craft people have been coming through, going over the lines back and forth. It's not having much disturbance if the fish aren't there. Luckily, nobody dragged their anchor through my line this week. That same person came through, so at least she just kept moving on and didn't stop and start fishing over my lines again, thankfully. Oh. Well, that sucks. That was the first whack I've had in probably well over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And again, it was on the middle rod, the rod that's had the most activity, yet absolutely 0 hookups. I caught on the left, I caught on the right. I made rig changes and adjustments, and it didn't seem to matter. That middle rod just isn't hooking anything today, but lots of those whacks. With the wind the way it is, the cloud cover coming in, I could be in for a good afternoon, but I do have to get home. So I'm going to pack things up. I'm going to head home, pick up the little guy, and take him out for the afternoon. I hate leaving a spot when the fish are here and when it should pick up any time, but it's been dead for a while, with the exception of that little whack there. So I'm gonna shut her down now. It's been a successful morning. Had 2 fish, can't complain. Very comfortable out, very peaceful out. So yeah, gonna pack it in until next time. And you know, maybe me and the little guy will get some fish this afternoon. If not, you know, there's always the next session out. Take care. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I've got it all put back together. I literally had just packed up the camera, closed the camera bag, took down the tripod, and the right-hand rod just ripped off. And it's another quality high double. So again, this one was on that little dumbbell wafter. Absolutely nailed. Calm down, calm down. Now this is a pretty fish. More of that chestnutty color to it. So started to look a little bit down, but finished the session on a high note. Absolutely no complaints there whatsoever. I am so happy with this. Great day, 3 fish. Buzzer beater. Dave called it too. I told him I had to get going. He said, hopefully you'll get a buzzer beater. There it is. Big tail, strong fish, great battle. Oh. Time to go home. I just got the nets and everything dried out too. So now I gotta put all this wet, stinky stuff in the van. So worth it.